morning, everybody. Welcome to Rise and Shine Yoga. I don't know, I'm trying to get creative on what I'm calling these yoga classes. If you have any suggestions. Essentially, today's class will be a half a class with a little bit of movement. Hi, Bocat. My cat's come to say hi. Hopefully he's not going to bug me the whole time today. So get yourself settled. Just take a moment to get anything you need ready. Yoga props, some water maybe, and we'll get started in just a minute. I'm just going to grab some water for myself too. Hey, silly Billy. Sorry, I thought I was a bit more organized this morning. Okay, so starting up in a tall seat if you'd like to sit up tall, or you could come to child's pose if you'd like. And we'll take a moment to connect into our breath. If you need a couple clearing breaths this morning just to really settle into your body and feel some grounding, go ahead and take a couple big clearing breaths here. A moment to focus your awareness into the present moment with your breath. Maybe bring an intention into your awareness as well. When you're ready, place your palms together at the center of your heart. Take a couple deep breaths into your heart space. I'm going to start today's practice with a call of Om. Excuse me. And you're welcome to join me or you're welcome to listen. We'll start with a clearing breath. Deep breath in. Exhale. And then inhale for Om. Just when you're ready, begin to open your eyes, lifting your head. If you're on your seat or you're in child's pose, make your way up to tabletop where we'll begin here with a little bit of movement and connecting into our breath here. All right, so hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and just as you're ready, beginning to create some movement. You could arch and round through your spine, cat and cow, or you could add in some more fluid movement, some circles, maybe moving your hips side to side, moving your hips towards your heels and back towards the center. So any movement that feels good to create a bit of space here for yourself. Excuse me. And you could explore bringing your navel towards your spine on your exhale, starting to engage into your core a little bit here. And then just in the next few breaths, whenever you're ready, making your way into downward facing dog. Of course, the option to always come into child's pose instead or stay in tabletop. Please listen to your body as you're moving, and if something that I'm offering isn't feeling great for you or doesn't work for you, bring yourself out. You definitely don't want to feel pain in yoga. Sometimes there's like discomfort as your muscles are being stretched, but there shouldn't be sharp shooting pains. And if there are, then make your way out and find something that feels a bit more settling for you. So in downward dog, if you're there with me, you could walk it out a little bit. You could create a bit of movement here as well. And again, connecting back into your breath here. Feeling a strong connection to the floor and really, really rooting into the connection with your hands to the ground. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Again, you could draw your navel towards your spine on your exhale. And then just in the next couple breaths, when you're ready, making your way into a standing forward fold. And you could have your elbows resting above your knees. You could grab opposite elbows. You could let your arms hang here. And again, you could explore some movement, or you could find stillness here, allowing yourself again to connect back to your breathing. And maybe when you're exhaling, really feel the connection of your feet to the ground and allow the rest of your body to drape or to hang or to just let go a little bit more. Couple more breaths here. Ragdoll to stand, take a few breaths to lift up to mountain pose, but you're welcome to bring your hands to your hips and take one breath to rise and come up. And once you've come to mountain, maybe roll your shoulders back a couple times and allow some space in the front of your body. Take a moment here, again, to connect into your feet, and this time lengthening up through the crown of your head. Find a little bit more space here. When your next inhale comes, take your arms up overhead, find a full stretch. Exhale, let's bow forward and come back into a forward fold. And let's lift up halfway, hands to your shins or hands to the ground or blocks. And then exhale, let's fold in. And we're going to step back to plank pose, 2 steps back. And you could have your knees up or your knees down here. We're going to lower all the way down to the ground. And when we get here, let's take a low cobra. So you could use some core strength here. You could lift your hands slightly away from the floor. Draw up through your navel and lift your heart. Rooting through your feet. And just whenever you're ready, you can move back to child's pose for a few breaths. Or perhaps coming back to downward dog. So I'm going to give a little bit more of an active component in practice today, but please again, listen to your body, whatever it is that you need, and trust in your body's wisdom today, what it needs. And just whenever you're ready, we're going to walk forward to the front of our mats and take a forward fold here. Well, this time, place your hands on your hips. Let's rise on our inhale. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath in. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Let's come back to our forward fold. Take an inhale. Lengthen your heart forward. Lift up halfway. And again, let's step back to plank pose. So you could notice what foot you step back with each time, and you can alternate knees up or knees down. Let's lower down again. Now you could take that low cobra again, or you could press into your hands and lift up slightly, finding your shoulders back. A couple breaths here. Elbows hugging in to the midline. Slowly lowering to the ground. When you're ready, we're going to rise and come back up, either to child's pose or down dog, taking a couple deep breaths here. then just as you're ready, walking or stepping your feet to the front of your mat, coming back to your forward fold. And then let's rise to stand and mountain pose when you're ready. Oh, here comes my cat. Hey buddy, hi. Coming to join us? So little walk by. All right, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bow forward. And then lift up halfway, inhale. And then this time we're gonna step our left foot back. So take a long stride lunge. You could take a low lunge, place your back knee on the ground here, or you could take a high lunge, keeping your back knee lifted. If you're feeling really wobbly, perhaps lower your back knee to the ground and take this into a low lunge. So hands on your hips or hands on your front leg, or we'll find another variation. You could take your arms into goddess arms, which looks like this, elbows lifted, in line with your shoulders. Shoulders back. Take a couple deep breaths here into your heart space. Now when your exhale comes, place your hands down. Begin to straighten both legs out. If you have yoga blocks, you could have your hands on blocks here. Lift your back heel high and maybe fold in a bit here. When you're ready, we're going to step back to down dog. You could come to child's pose. I'm going to step back to three-legged dog, lifting my right leg up and back behind me. You can have both feet on the ground if you like. If your leg's lifted, you could also open your hip to the side, maybe bend your knee, open it up a bit here. Again, a little bit more of an active practice this morning, so if you want to take some different variations, please listen to your body. Please listen to your body. So you can choose to come to child's pose. You can hang out in down dog, or you can move through a vinyasa here, unless you have a cat underneath you. Hi buddy, watch out. And moving through your vinyasa, or again, child's pose, or down dog. Taking a clearing breath or two. Now, when you're ready, we're going to step our left foot forward. So that might be from tabletop. You might grab your ankle, help it forward a little bit, and then low or high lunge on this side. So try to mirror what you did on the last side, perhaps. You could always lower your back knee to the ground. Couple breaths here. Any arm variation you'd like. On your exhale, place your hands down. Let's straighten out both legs and lift your back heel high. Maybe fold in here, feeling a bit of a stretch for the back of your legs. Now you could step back to downward dog. You could come to child's pose. I'm going to step back to three-legged dog, and again I'm going to open up here, open my hip, bend my knee a bit. Good. When you're ready, coming back to downward dog. If you're in three-legged dog, you could pause in child's pose for a few breaths if you like. You could move through a vinyasa if you like. Take a moment to come back to your breathing. Okay, so if you're in child's pose like I was, we'll make our way back up to down dog, and then we're going to come to stand at the front of our mat again, so walking or stepping forward and taking our forward fold. And then inhale, let's rise up to mountain pose, hands to heart center. Take a moment to pause. Okay. So we're going to come into chair pose. Feet can stay slightly parted, or your feet can be together here. Either option. You could have your hands at your heart or hands on your hips. We're going to sit back and down. Tailbone draws down slightly. Heart still lifts up. So hips are moving back, so your knees are moving back over your ankles, so you're not popping your knees forward here. Hands can stay at your heart, or you could extend your arms up overhead. Take one more breath in and then exhale, forward fold. You could always part your feet here as well. Take a breath in, lift up halfway, and then exhale, fold in. Now we're going to sit back into chair, hands at your heart. Let's turn towards the left. You could hang out here, or you could take your right elbow to the outside of your left leg. Check your knees that one hasn't popped forward from the other, so they're still in line with one another, and then opening into a twist, and then coming back through the center, and then over to the other side. You may or may not hook your elbow on your leg. Coming back through the center, forward fold. You could part your feet here. Take a breath in, and then exhale, fold. And again, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's take a step back with our left foot. And high or low lunge here. We're going to come into prayer twist. Just rethinking this. I'm going to turn around this way so you can see me better. All right, so high lunge or low lunge. Back knees on the ground, or back leg lifted. So let's take our left arm up. You turn. You can either place your left hand to the outside of your right leg, open up here, or you can take your left elbow outside of your right leg, open up here. Palms stacked, heart open, shoulders back, connect to your breath. Two more breaths. Now you can come out if you need to. Okay, we're going to unwind. We're going to step back again to three-legged dog maybe, or you can come to child's pose. You can take a vinyasa if you like. You can hang out in downward dog. You can move to child's pose. And then just when you're ready, stepping your left foot forward. So high or low lunge. Remember, you can always have your back knee on the ground. You don't have to do what I'm doing here today. Right arm lifts. You could take your right hand to the outside of your leg and open up here. Or you can bring yourself into a prayer twist here. Connecting to your breath. And just when you're ready, unwinding, and again, you can move to child's pose, you can move through vinyasa, you can open it up, three-legged dog. All right, just stepping forward when you're ready, coming back to a standing forward fold. Letting your head release. Taking a moment to slow your breath down. Maybe ragdoll up to stand, or you could take one breath to rise and come up. Okay, we warmed up a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit like I got a little heat going, which is great. Okay, so we're going to incorporate those last two poses. So I'm going to show you and then you can decide if you want to come in or not. Just being really mindful as you're moving through the transition, if you decide to do the transition, that you may fall out. So just seeing what's around you in order to minimize obstacles. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna hang out here first, chair pose, twisting. Now I'm twisting to my left first, just for showing you. I'm gonna lean into my left foot, I'm gonna lift my right heel, and I'm gonna step my right foot back. Yeah, hi. And I'm in the lunge twist, and then if I wanted to, I could come and step back forward and then fold. It's a lot. So you can choose to just hang out in chair pose in that variation. Okay. So when you're ready here, lengthening up, hands at heart center, sitting back into chair. Now you can pause and hang out here. Okay, you don't have to even go into the twist. Tailbone draws down, lower belly draws in. You could take your right elbow to the outside of your left leg and hang out here. And if you'd like to try, you're gonna lift your right heel and step your right foot back. So not the foot that you're hooked onto. All right, and then if you feel like stepping back forward, you can also step back forward. Wherever it is that you are, making your way back to a forward fold, taking a couple clearing breaths here in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then we'll ragdoll up to stand. All right, not too bad. Feeling a bit more heat. Remember that one side can feel different than the other. If you're done with what I'm offering, you could also come into child's pose here. So chair pose here. You could twist now to the right. Okay, you could pause, stay here, or you could come back to chair, or you can lift your left heel and step your left foot back. And or maybe stepping your left foot back forward. Folding in, taking a clearing breath or two, inhale, exhale, we're going to step back to down dog, to tabletop, maybe taking a few breaths here, child's pose. Slowing your breath down. Coming back to tabletop. I'm going to work on a little bit of a twist here from tabletop. So a few options for you here. So starting maybe with your right leg extended, both hands planted, okay? And or maybe extending your left arm out here. For those of you that want to take a little bit of a twist, you'll reach your right hand back, grab the top of your left foot, and open up towards the left. Taking your time, coming back to the center, taking a moment to pause, or you could move through cat and cow a couple times, arching and rounding through your spine. Okay. So other side, remembering you can stay here, pausing here, working at the strength of your arms, pressing down in your leg. You could extend your right arm forward, or you could reach back and open up towards the right. Hi. Hello. When you're ready, releasing. You could move through cat and cow a couple times. You could come back to child's pose. Buddy. so let's come back into a forward fold. I'm going to come through downward facing dog and back into forward fold. You could also walk your hands to your feet instead and fold in here. And let's take a nice ragdoll. Take a ragdoll or one breath in to rise. And let's turn towards the long edge of the mat. Okay. So, lots of twisting, lots of heat building. We're going to still build a little bit of heat here, but we'll be done that soon. Okay, I promise. So we're going to come into goddess pose. So a little bit of a wider stride, toes turning out, sitting into a squat. If you can lift your lower belly, draw your tailbone down just to lift your upper body a bit more upright. You can do that. You can have your hands on your legs and you could straighten them out at any time, or you could come to goddess arms here. Couple breaths. Hug your inner thighs towards one another, navel towards your spine. Now on our next inhale, we're going to stretch everything straight. Straighten your legs. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, sit back down. Good, another breath or two here. And take a breath in. Inhale, straighten everything out. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And then exhale. Good. This time we're going to straighten out our legs, release our arms down. Draw your heels out, maybe even widen your stride a tiny bit. Take a deep breath in here, and then exhale, it's wide-legged forward fold. Release your hands, release your head down. Connecting to your breath. Hi. Feisty. Now begin to lift up halfway, and we're going to stand all the way up again. And when you're ready, turn your right foot to face the front of your mat. Okay. Take a little bend into your front knee. Upper body's upright, arms extended out. Backhand comes down your back leg, front arm reaches up and back, and shoulder blades onto your back here. A couple more breaths. When you're ready, let's come back through the center, straighten out our front legs. Take a breath in here. Reach forward for triangle pose, and you could bring your front hand down, back arm reaches up. You could reach both arms forward or one arm forward, depending on your shoulders. Shoulders rolling back. And let's come all the way back up to stand. Both feet turn back towards the long edge. So we're going to take another wide-legged forward fold. If you'd like a bind, clasp your hands behind you, find a little length through your spine, and fold in. If that doesn't feel good for your shoulders, release your hands back down towards the floor, connecting to your breath here. And when you're ready, let's lift up halfway and come all the way back up to stand. This time we're going to turn our left foot out towards the small edge of our mat. Bend into your left knee. Arms extended out. Backhand to your back leg, front palm turns up, and then we lift up and back. Shoulders back, connecting to your breath here. When you're ready, we're going to come to the center, straighten out our legs, reach forward, triangle pose. Front hand can come down, back arm reaches up, a little bit more core stability, and shoulders back here. So really feeling that rotation and opening your heart towards the ceiling. And when you're ready, we're gonna rise. Excuse me. And we're gonna take one more wide-legged forward fold. This time I'm gonna offer a twist if you like. Okay, breath in here. Exhale, fold. Now we're gonna pop up halfway. So if your hands don't reach the ground, if you have a block, you can place your hands on the block. Start with your left hand in the center. Your right hand can come out to your right hip, or you can extend your right arm up. As long as your arm's straight, it doesn't feel like you're jamming into your shoulder. And take a couple more breaths here. And when you're ready, we'll release. Right hand comes down, left hand to your left hip, turning towards the left here. And if your arm looks like mine, hand on your hip. If not, you can extend your arm up towards the ceiling. And when you're ready, let's come back down. Let's pause in the center for a couple of breaths here. So we're going to come around into a lunge position from here, lunge form. We're going to turn towards the front of our mats. We're going to turn our feet to face forward. Walk around, bring your back knee down to the ground first. I'm going to offer up a thigh stretch if you like. So you could walk your right foot a bit wider. You could take your right hand back, grab the top of your left foot, and settle into your lunge and twist open towards the right. So just an option. If not, both hands are down on the floor, the inside of your front foot. When you're ready to release, maybe not like that, slingshot style, but bring your hands to the inside of your front foot. Now your front foot can be wider and turned out. You could have your hands up on blocks. If you have blocks, you could lower down. You could keep your hands on the floor, your choice. We'll be spending a few more breaths here. So allow yourself to settle in. Maybe deepen your breath. Come back to the breathing that we had at the beginning of the practice. And just a couple more breaths here. So we are going to move our hips back, straighten out our front leg. If you have space, move your back knee a little bit further back. Lift the bottom of your front foot. Hands can come back underneath your shoulders. And you could play around a little bit, maybe move the pinky toe side of your foot back. You could anchor your right hip back and flex your toes back towards you to protect your knee joint, and keep a little micro bend in your knee as well. And just whenever you're ready, we're going to come out of that. If you want to move through vinyasa or come to down dog or child's pose for a few breaths, take a few breaths. And before we do those 3 movements on the other side. whenever you're ready, stepping your left foot forward. So for those of you that took the thigh stretch, you'll take the thigh stretch here. For those of you that didn't, you'll just pause here in the center. Okay, so maybe reaching back for your foot. For those of you that have reached back and grabbed your foot, you could release here, come back to the center, and hang out here. So we're going to hang out here in the center for a bit. And just remember, if you need to come out sooner, you come out sooner. You can always come to child's pose, or if you're experiencing any pain, you need to come out. But if there's just a discomfort, you really use your breath to release out some of that heaviness, release some of that heavy energy out. So in your own time, we're going to move out and we're going to straighten our front leg. If you have space, please move your back knee back a little bit. And as you lift the bottom of your foot, flex your toes back towards you. And that just helps to protect your knee joint. If you have yoga blocks, of course, you could use them here. If not, your hands will reach towards the floor. And then you could always fold in here for those of you that have a bit of space to do that. When you're ready, we're going to come on out of that. Again, you could maybe move through into child's pose. You could move into downward dog. You could move through vinyasa if you like, and take a few breaths. So we're going to come up. I'm just going to move into a little back bend here, and I'm just going to use some caution when I guide through this next posture. So we're going to be up on our knees. If you have a folded up blanket that feels better underneath your knees, please come here, and you can tuck your toes under as well if you like. Hands can be just placed on your lower back, and there's an engagement in through your core, and then shoulders roll back, down, elbows hug in, and you could pause here. So you're going to lengthen up, core drawing in, and pause, lift through your heart. Some of you may begin to continue to lengthen and maybe lean back a bit, and as soon as you start to feel like you're jamming into your lower back, you've gone too far, so you're going to lift it up a bit. And connecting to our breath here. Hips staying forward. And when you're ready, we're going to come back through the center and come to sit back just for a moment. Okay, so we're going to come into pigeon pose. For those of you, those of you that are have experienced some knee issues, or you know this pose doesn't work for you, come to line your back for figure 4. So I have my left knee out to the left, a little wider than my left hip. If I feel any pressure in my knee, if you start to feel pressure, you need to come out, come onto your back. For those of you coming into pigeon and this feels okay, you could lower in. Again, as long as you don't feel that pressure in your knee. if you do, a couple options. You could actually come to figure 4 here on your seat here, or you could lie down and take figure 4 here, okay? So all of those variations work into the same muscle groups, and the pigeon pose is just a bit more weight bearing on your leg. So of course, if that doesn't feel good for your knee, come on out. Hi. Just a couple more breaths here on this side. So when you're ready to come out of the side, if you haven't already, some of you may have already, find a release, give yourself an opportunity to let that go a little bit, and then come to the other side, whether that's on your back and you figure 4, or coming into pigeon pose, or you're seated. We'll just spend a few more breaths here. Okay, taking your time to come out. If you're on your back, you're welcome to stay there. And if you're in pigeon, take some time to find a release that works for you, and then make your way onto your back. So once you come onto your back, you could hug your knees up in towards your chest. Make a bit of movement from side to side if you like. And then from here, we're going to extend our legs up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do a little bit of core work today, just a little bit. So you could always skip this, place a block underneath your hips, let your legs extend towards the ceiling. If you're going to join me in some core work, both legs extended, knees bent if you need to. Let's lower our left leg down just until you feel like you're going to lose your lower back connection to the ground. And then like you're moving in slow motion, you're going to lift your leg back up. So let's try to move and a count of 5 or 6 on the way down, and then 5 or 6 on the way up. And we'll do the other side. Just switching sides, moving at your own pace, but knowing that the more mindful you're moving, a little bit more effective, and trying to keep that connection of your lower back on the floor. And last one here. And when you're ready, take a big breath or two. Knees to chest. I'm rocking a little bit on my lower back. All right, we can do that a little bit differently this time. Legs extending. One leg moves about a quarter or a third of the way down. You could lift your upper body and lift your arms forward, look straight up, and then we're going to switch our legs, okay? And you could lower your other leg a little bit lower, but try to only lift this one up about a quarter. Moving with your breath. You could also lower your head back down to the floor and keep your hands down. Your choice. Three, two, one. Knees to chest, lower down. Big breath or two here. A little bit of movement. Okay, so let's do that one more time. So you can choose to lower one leg at a time, leaving the other one lifted, or we can switch. So here, and switch, and switch, and switch. And moving with your own breath, your own pace, and switch, 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 switch. 3, 2, 1, and release. You can bring your feet to the ground if you like. You could give yourself a full body stretch if you like here as well. Stretch out the front of your body. Release. All right. We're going to come into happy baby pose. Just giving a little bit of length to our hips, a little bit of length to our lower back. So you can grab behind your knees, you can grab your shins or ankles or your feet here. Connecting to your breath. Let's release that. Take a couple big belly breaths here. Into your nose, out through your mouth. All right, so we're going to move up into bridge pose. We're going to stretch out the front of our body just a little bit here. And you could choose to move through some bridge rolls, or you could hold bridge here, pressing down through your feet, maybe interlacing your hands underneath you. Walking your upper arms in. And as you're ready, releasing, let's come back to the floor and hug our knees in one more time. All right. So I'd like to actually do one more core, and sometimes people call this one a dead bug, but you start like you're in happy baby, feet together though, knees wide, lift your upper body, bring your elbows to the inside of your knees and push your knees wide, but resist your knees back, lower belly's pulling towards the floor. And when you're ready, releasing. Taking a breath or two here. All right. Bound angle posture, feet together. Bottoms of your feet together to touch, and then knees can come wide to the sides, and you can also open up into your heart space a bit. Breathing into your bellies, maybe feeling the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe in and out. When you're ready, let's come back to the center. We'll come into a twist here. I'm going to come into an eagle leg twist. So I'm going to cross my left leg over my right, bring my knees over to the right side, but you can stack both legs or come into any twist that makes sense for you here. If this can be a deeper twist for a lot of people, so release if you feel like it's too much. As you're ready, we're going to release, come back through the center, and come to the other side. Taking your time as you're ready to release, come back through the center. And one more, knees to chest, or move a little bit from side to side, or you can squeeze yourself into a little ball here. And it is time for Shavasana, so whenever you're ready, you could extend your arms and your legs, come to lie, flat on your back. If you're more comfortable on your side, you can lie on your side, or you can come up to your seat for this part. Giving yourself an opportunity to move around a bit, give yourself a couple clearing breaths. yourself some movement, gentle movement, maybe a big body stretch. You could bring your knees up into your chest. And taking your time to come over to one side for a couple breaths before making your way up to your seat. And as you come to your seat, take a moment to connect back to your breath. Take a couple deep breaths of gratitude for taking the time to be here. Thanks everyone. Namaste. Happy Thursday. Have a great day. That was really enthusiastic. Thanks everybody. I'm going to be here next week, Monday morning, Thursday morning at 9, and Wednesday night at 7. Yeah, I'm gonna keep rolling with classes as long as I can, and as long as you keep on showing up. It's great to see everyone who's online here, and if you have any suggestions for classes or anything else you'd like to see, give me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe share with your friends about the classes if you know anyone that's looking for a variety of classes, or you can check it out. They're on YouTube as well, so anyone not on Facebook. And yeah, if you have the means to support right now, you could e-transfer or PayPal. And if not, that's okay too. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend if I don't see you before. Okay. Bye.